Welcome to Lit 4121, Mythology of Heroes and Villains. I'm your instructor, Isaac Bell. I'll be helping you through the next 6 weeks of course. There's a picture of me if any of you are curious what I look like, which I don't know why you would be, but there I am. I am usually available online through email most easily. I also will have office hours Mondays and Wednesdays, 11 till noon, unless, of course, nobody's requesting them after a few weeks, and then I'll be using that time otherwise. There is my email and phone number on the syllabus. Please, if you're going to text me or call me through the phone number, it is best to text me first to let me know you're going to call or to leave a message because, like everybody else, I'm getting lots of robocalls, so I don't answer the phone if I don't recognize the number. This course description is about understanding the roles within myth, how mythology helps us understand heroes and villains, and specifically, as you can read through the rest of these yourself, what these mean in a modern context. And I'll discuss that more in a moment. The book I'm going to be using is Heroes and Villains by Mike Alsford. You can either get it through print or there is an ebook available through Kindle. The ebook on Kindle I think is about $11, and I would reference that quite heavily. It's a fairly short book, but it is kind of dense. So I would not put off doing the readings because it may take one or two trips through to understand everything. There are several videos to watch. Most of these videos are available through things like Netflix, or a couple of them are available through Amazon. For example, All Star Superman and The Steen are available through Amazon. If there's a financial issue in the way of being able for you to watch these, let me know. We can talk about it. Also, these are the links that were active as of this summer when I built the syllabus. If anybody has trouble accessing anything through these links, let me know and I will go through and double check to make sure they're still good. There are other videos to watch. This is from a series on YouTube called Crash Course. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. Again, if you have a computer that plays video well, which you're in this course, so you should, Crash Course to be easily accessible. And there are several assignments we'll go through. Each week we'll have a discussion forum. This is talking both about the readings as well as sometimes I will have prompts that help you with that. Partner projects, there'll be 2 partner projects. This is a fairly large class, so we will have a fair number of partner projects, and it may be a little hard to organize this, so please be on your toes for that. There'll be a couple analytical papers. Applied myth paper. Applied myth is basically creating your own myth. And then finally, a final paper, which will include a proposal, the final paper, and which is a research paper, research and analysis paper. And we'll discuss those in a little bit more depth later. There's the grading criteria and the grading scale. And then, of course, there's a week by week breakdown of not only what's going to be asked of you, but usually about the time it will take. You'll know some of the dates are wrong in there. That's my mistake. Follow the dates online. This was from an earlier version of the syllabus, and I didn't update the dates on it. That's my mistake. And once I get those dates fixed, I will re-upload the syllabus. So this is what the course page looks like. You probably have all seen it a little bit by now. You'll notice that the word cloud I have here focuses a lot about superheroes and superpowers. And that's because we're going to talk a lot about how the myths of the we all think of, such as the Greek myths, Norse myths, Egyptian myths, where we have heroes and villains and demigods, have been updated mostly into superhero myths as well as other forms of heroic storytelling. And I'm going to be using a lot of modern sources, as you probably have already seen from the reading and video list, to link back to these previous sources. So there's a standard format here. Of course, there will be analysis and the syllabus, course objectives, welcome and introduction course. This is a overall view of things. How, if you have any idea or want to have an idea of how I see things and what to expect as we come up. And of course, here is an overall short list of where you can get the videos and watch all the video links and that sort of stuff. I would advise you to try to get ahead of the readings and watching the videos because some of these can take some time to get through, especially if you get into any of these. I know some people have watched a couple episodes of these shows and started binging the shows, which is, that's great if you like the show, but the point is to understand what we're talking about in class. So you want to get a little ahead of things. And here's links to all those videos. And there's also links to other readings that will go with them. And of course, here's some online writing resources. Purdue Online Writing Lab, which has been updated recently. The link should still be good, but there are more recent links you can go with as well, and the Baker University Library to help with that. If you have any ability to access the Writing Center resources as well, that would be good. And one more thing for this course, you'll notice that each week has these pillars: introduction, instruct, apply, and assess. If you're taking any other Baker classes, you'll be used to this. I have an overall video in case you are not used to online courses to kind of give you an idea of expectations and how to keep up with an online course. It's worth watching the whole video. And here is, of course, an overview, links to the videos and the readings. And this will be updated every week. So each week will have its own links. One of your fellow students, has noticed that these are pages from the print edition, and many of you may be on the Kindle edition. And obviously you can see that I have it here. When in doubt, always go through here and check for the Kindle editions like this. So if I'm talking about myth and imagination, you can click on it, chapter 1, myth and imagination, outsider, and so you can check to make certain these are correct. You'll notice that the formatting is a little off. This was not designed to be in a Kindle edition. It should still be readable. If you ever have any trouble with it, just let me know, but it should be readable there. I will also start trying to go through all these videos and give you location information from down here, but I am not 100% certain that my location information will match yours. One of the problems with online editions is sometimes different versions of the same program can lay things out differently. And of course, videos to watch and video to purchase, that sort of thing. So one thing about the readings is I will give you an overview of my take on the readings. For example, in this overview, I'm going to talk a lot about Professor Mike Alsford, and give you some of my views of what he is like and what is important to know about him and the text and what to expect, as well as what Crash Course is about, who's behind the Crash Course videos. These two people are John and Hank Green. They're well known. John is a well-known young adult author. Hank Green is a well-known video blogger. He also owns several companies, and he is actually also going to be a young adult author. His first book is being published this week. And so this will give you an overview of all of these things. One thing about all of these texts is they're useful for instructional purposes. I do not necessarily expect you to agree with them all or to like everything equally. It is, for example, if you are not into the character of Superman or you're not into superheroes, that's perfectly fine if you are critical about these things. The idea is not to love everything or hate everything. The idea is to think deeply about it. So by all means, if you are not happy with one of the selections, I'll tell you right now that not all of the readings and videos I picked work for me in 100%. They're there as examples of a topic that we're discussing, not as a isn't this great. So that's perfectly fine if you want to get onto that level of criticism. Obviously, there's a couple of assignments. The first assignment is this is not going to be graded. Some of the weekly forms will be graded. They'll be ranked points according to your responses, usually due to the thoughtfulness of your responses. When in doubt, go on too long, don't go on too short. So the responses you're being asked to write are usually around 250 to 500 words. For example, here, 120 to 200 words long for the original. You can, by all means, going longer than that is probably better as long as you have something to say. If you're just trying to fill space because you think I'm grading based on length, always go with thoughtfulness as opposed to length. And I expect you to write responses to each other. This is because it's supposed to be a discussion area, and you have to write a minimum of 3 responses, and you get points for each of those as well. But the main point is to respond to anything that provokes a conversation. I want you to guys to be thinking about and talking about things, and I hope that there's actually too many posts for me to keep up with. The best way to make certain you have a high grade in these is to be thoughtful in the original post and be thoughtful in your responses and respond to always do a little bit more than the minimum. Always go more than the minimum in lengths and number of responses. That is going to be a large part of your weekly grades. Also, every week you're going to have a writing project. This week is a partner project. We have this forum where we introduce each other, let each other know who we are. If you want to read mine, this is an example of what I'm talking about is why are you here? What is your goal here? And that is more than just to get a good job. It's why are you furthering your education? Why are you taking classes? That sort of thing. And as well as this kind of stories you're into. And you can just say you're into crime stories or you're into superhero stories or into romances, whichever. But I'm also curious about why you like the stories. Always assume every question I ask you comes with the second question of why is that? Because one thing I'm trying to teach you is to think deeply about everything you look at, everything you read and you take in. All of the media we consume is trying to say more than just what it's saying. And so be thoughtful and ask another question or ask yourself why something is the way it is. So, and then also through this, I'm hoping that we can pick partners by Wednesday, and that way by Thursday, you guys can schedule time to have discussions with each other for the partner project. And here's the partner project. This is the prompt for it. So basically, look at the text. So you look at either the crash course video, the All-Star Superman video, or from the textbook, and discuss with each other what you know about heroes and stories, what you think a hero is meant to be, what does it mean to be a hero in terms of ethics, that sort of thing. So you don't have to address each of these questions, but you do have to address at least one or two of them. And if you come up with your own questions, that's great. And also the way you talk to each other is up to you, is open to you. If you use a shared document like a Google Docs or an IM, please make a record of that and show that to me as well. But the main point of this is you will then afterward, after you have your discussion, write a summary from your point of view about the discussion. It can be about 250 to 500 words long. And don't write about, he said and then I said and he said and then I said. Talk about what the ideas were and what you think about them. And each of you should write and upload your own version of this, so that I am not grading two people's work on one paper. So that is the first week. It's going to be fairly quick. Most of these weeks are going to work the same way. There's going to be a crash course video of some kind. There may be a supplementary reading to go with it. There will also be a video from a current show or movie. The longest one of those is The Steen, which is in the very last week. And they will be tied in some way with that week's readings. And if you have anything else you would like to suggest to be read or other ideas for cool texts, that's great too. I'm much more interested in discussion than I am necessarily about work that we're producing for this. If you have any questions about this, again, you may email me or see you during my office hours. I hope we have a good class, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.